welcome to another Thursday Thinks. Now today is all about horses and exercise. So, that sounded a bit child. Now children's all about horses and exercise today. No. Okay, so horses and exercise is something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. So bear with me. And I'll give you my opinion. So opinions are obviously just mine. They're not professional opinions, and what it is what it is. If you don't like it, that's fine. You have your own opinions. I have mine. So obviously we like to exercise horses. Now that's if you've got an active horse or one that you need to do stuff with for whatever reason, fine. Or whether you've got a companion that just needs that little bit of extra attention, exercise can cover a lot of things. So I've been thinking about it a lot recently, and when we say exercise, what is it that we actually mean? Is it that you're taking them out, that you're making them do exercise like we would, like going for a run or doing yoga or whatever it is that you feel that you need to do to feel as though you've done exercise? And then do you apply that to your horse? Or do you consider it a different way? Do you consider it as exercising the brain, making them think, making them question, making them interact? Or do you try and get them dead behind the eyes? So recently, I have to admit, I haven't done much with my herd. Now, that doesn't mean that I just don't go near them. What it means is that I haven't actually been taking it physically out of the yard or out of the field to do activities with. And that's what I consider my alone time with them. Rather than saying, I'm going to work the major, I'm going to work Egypt, I'm going to work Flora, I'm trying now to say instead, I'm going to go play with them. I'm going to go play with Pagan. I'm going to go play with Midnight and see what I've got. Because I found that in saying that I wanted to work with them, I'm going to work them, I was putting a lot of pressure on them and on me to achieve things. Like, if I wanted to take... I'm absolutely working on taking Egypt into fields at the moment and not having him eat grass, getting him to pay attention without falling apart and having a hissy fit. Now, it's something that scares me because he is insistent on eating grass, and we've got to the point now where he does it out of almost fear. It's not fear, it's anxiety, because he doesn't know what I'm going to do about the fact that he's eating. So he does it because he's that cheeky. I don't want to say cheeky, but it's what he feels that he should be doing. Because it's grass, it's there, and he doesn't really get that much grass anyway, because in our track system he's got hay. But it's something that's slightly novel, and he wants to see what I'm going to do about it, especially if we haven't got the connection. If I haven't done the groundwork before of going, right, I need you to be with me, I need you to be here, just be with me. If I haven't done the work to make sure that we're sort of almost telepathic, then I've got no hope. He goes for the closest bit of grass, head down. You try and do anything to stop him to do it. You pull his head up, he just gives you a dirty look and his head's back on the floor. Or if you've got the carrot stick and you're hitting the ground behind him, or if you give him a spank, he kicks out, gives you the dirty look, or charges off, or, you better watch yourself. So, I've lost train of thought. in saying that I'm going to work him, I immediately went to an anxious place, which meant that my energy around him wasn't great to start with, which meant that he then took that and ran with it, if you like. So he then started to be all, well, if you're going to be doing X, then I'll be doing Y. If you're going to be feeling anxious, then I'm going to create more anxiety for you. Now, it's not fully intentional. Some of it's the fact that I made him anxious, so he then became anxious because I was anxious, and yeah. So I stopped using the phrase work with him. So instead I say that I'm going to play with him and see what I've got. which is something that Susie of Susie School Horsemanship, who I work with very closely with my herd, all 5 of them, she says that you put too much pressure on yourself with that. And I found that especially over the past few weeks, where I feel like I really should be doing work with them, I really should be doing this, I really should be doing that. And then when I get there, they just go, because I've got that energy of we need to do stuff, we need to, and it's too much for them. So I haven't really done that much with them because I've got that pressure, because I was thinking I need to work with them, I need to achieve things, I need to do stuff. So I stopped and took a break and just said to myself, right, so you sort yourself out mentally and then you can go back and try it. And I realised that when I was taking Egypt out, or even just out of the yard, even just putting the head collar on, I was instantly causing anxiety for him. So I then started to think, well, I'm only just realising this now. I wonder how long this has been taking. This has been growing. So I worked on just being quiet, stood next to him, and then quietly putting the head collar on. And he turned into the, yeah, I'll have that on, thank you very much. And then I just opened the gate and sent him through it. And immediately his head went down to the tiny little patch of grass that's growing from right by the gate. Just a tiny, tiny little grass. And put his head down on it. And I was like, no. Immediately, no, don't do that. And actually, that's not helping, because if you're teaching somebody to do something that they don't really speak your full language, and you immediately jump on them about something, they don't really take it the right way. And I don't think he did it either. So it's more of a case of, okay, no, right, I need your attention, come back in, go back out, come back in, go back out, until he realised that all I wanted to do was go out and stand there. So I could come through the gate, close the gate behind me, and we can carry on. So I achieved that. And then it was a case of, right, can you back up? Because he likes to be in close with me. All of my horses do. I sometimes wonder if it's a disrespect thing, but I don't think it is, because if I ask them to leave, they do. So I think it's more of they like being around my energy when I'm in a good place, and they like to stand near me, like to have cuddles, and when I'm in a cuddly mood, I'm all over them, and they're just like, hi, love you. So I then I'm going to go work with him. I then tried to see what I could get out of him in very low levels. And all I think I wanted him to do last time I had him out was I just wanted him to walk back up to the end of a 22-foot rope and find peace. And that was such hard work for him. So it made me realise that what I've been doing in my necessity, in my eagerness to achieve things, to do exercise, to do work with him, I'd created this anxious creature, and in having that anxiety there in the first place, I was then setting myself up for all sorts of drama. And then I got to thinking, when I take them out, when I play with them, when I see what I can get, see what I've got, see what I can do, what is it that I'm actually trying to achieve? And then it sent me down a bit of a rabbit warren, a bit of a rabbit hole of, well, what are we all trying to achieve when we're working our horses? Are we working towards the goal of a dressage competition or a cross country? Or are you working towards having your horse safe on the road so you can go for hacks? Or are you doing horse agility? Or have you just got your horse and you're just doing stuff because you feel you have to? You know, you need to know how to canter, you need to know how they pick it up, make them pick it up faster. Are you trying to achieve things because you think you should, or because you want to? And then I thought about it in my way. I looked to do exercise for two reasons: mental and physical. Because the physical, my lot don't technically need, because they're on a track system, which means they've got space to move, they've got space to run. I mean, if you've seen the latest YouTube video, which is Meet the Herd Egypt, you'll see him charging around. You'll see him playing with the ball. So the link is in the description, so check that out if you haven't already. But they get the exercise from the track system. Now, it doesn't mean that they're the fittest and they can go for a marathon and do long distance, because they're not that kind of fit. But they're fit in the way that quite often most horses that have a standard field aren't, because they've got the natural movement. My youngsters are packed full of muscle. The major is doing amazingly this year because he's getting movement, he's getting natural movement, he's getting well fed in the right way. So I turned around and thought, actually, I don't need to exercise in that way, because I don't expect them to go long distances. They're not in hard work of any kind. My youngsters are obviously still learning how to be in the world. I'm still doing a lot of basic groundwork with them, just to fine tune, to make sure that they're confident with the smallest things and just building things up slowly. But obviously, if your horse is in the stable, then the exercise is a necessity. Especially, I keep thinking back to the major. If he was stuck in a stable, I would need to be exercising him every day, because his arthritis would be ridiculous. His legs would swell. I'm not being over dramatic. It's what's happened in the past. He's been stabled, and he's found it really hard to move afterwards, because he's just been stood. He's just been trapped. He's just been there. He's got no other option to do anything else. And he's not the kind of character to walk around and circle and cause a drama. He will just stand there and fall asleep. And then he's sort of like, I've got nothing to do. So I could understand the exercise element if my boy was stabled, but he's not at the moment. So I don't physically need to get him out to get him fit, get him to just be healthy, because he's keeping himself healthy on the track system. And also the fact that my track system is also a paddock paradise. They've got logs to pick their feet up over. They've got even bigger logs that they can jump or rub their legs on, or they've got a mound where they can go charging up it and charging down it. So they've got plenty to do. They've got plenty of different ways to exercise their body in their own natural way. So to me, I don't exercise to exercise. For me, the playing with them, seeing what I've got, seeing what I can do, is more of a mental thing. Now, whilst they go on a paddock paradise, they get mental stimulation just from the paddock paradise alone. It's more of confidence building around me and getting that connection with them, so that when we're together, they trust me and I trust them. Because if you saw the live event that I did about horse personalities, you'll see that I was talking about how that Midnight is an unconfident introvert. Now, I sometimes identify in that category, in the fact that if something goes wrong, my immediate thought isn't to go, right, we'll do this, we'll be fine. It's more of a, no, what do I do? So I'm always constantly trying to build their confidence up to the point where if I go into that, oh no, what do I do? And I don't know how to deal with this situation, that they've got the confidence to go, it's all right, I've got it. And they can then get us out of the situation enough that I can gain my own confidence back to go, right, yeah, we're okay. Thank you very much for sorting that out. Let me have control again. They can go, all right, we understand, we're ready. That's a big ask for a horse, to understand that you're not okay. The person in charge isn't all right. So therefore it falls down to them to go, yeah, we've got this, is okay. Which is why I like working closely with my youngsters because they can see that sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I haven't got a clue, and sometimes I'm so freaking anxious about what's going to happen that they do need to pick up and step up, and it's going to be okay. And I'm happy in letting them have that, because the more that I play with them, interact with them, spend time with them, the more my trust in them grows. Like Pagan, I know that I would have to do something drastically wrong for her to willingly hurt me. So that means that I have confidence in her in almost any situation. Doesn't mean that I don't have those moments of, oh God, I'm not in control, what do I do? Because I do have that odd occasion where I'm around her and I do that. But she doesn't take advantage of that fact. She just accepts it and carries on, which means that my confidence levels around her are a lot higher than they are around Egypt and Spring. So Egypt and Spring are totally different personalities. So my interaction with them is more of getting them to willingly interact with me and find that that's a good idea, because they're both confident in their own way. Now, Egypt is he's on the cusp. So in some situations he's confident, he's got it, it's okay, get out of my way, let's do this. And in situations where he's not confident about something, he's big and it's scary and he is, which I'm working on it. And now I see through the big explosion to see that it's just him going, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And it's actually making it faster for me to then go, right, you need my help and I can give that to you, which means that I calm down a lot faster because I've got something to do. I've got a job, I've got a reason, I've got something to work on, something to work with, something to figure out. So my exercise of the horses is more mental, it's more connection, it's more relationship building. And I just wondered how many other people worked that way or function that way around their horses. Does everybody take their horses out and work them or exercise them purely to get them to do things physically, like to be able to jump that 1 metre fence, to be able to jump two things, a filler, whatever, to get them to canter, or to get them to gallop, to get them to stop on a dime, to get them to do things physically? Or is it more about focusing on the relationship and building on that to then create confidence or connection in any situation? So it's something that's been on my mind a lot recently, and I don't have the answer to that question because I'm not other people, I'm not in their heads, I'm only in my own head. I can only say things from my point of view. So exercise for me is, the definition for it is changing. When I first had them, it was a case of you need to take them out, you do something with them every day, and having 5, that was just killing me. And then I dropped down to twice every other day. So they'd hop, they'd frog leap each other, and even that was just that little too much. And then I had a break because I was figuring myself out, and I needed to do that work of figuring myself out. And it's been hard, especially starting a business as well, Naturally Willa. It's been a bit of a mission to try and figure out how to do that as well. It's taken a lot of mental work for me, and my personality type, if you go into human design, I'm a self-projected projector, which means that I need to rest and look after myself. And the more I look after myself, the more things happen around me for the better. So the more I look after myself, the more brighter I appear, the more I attract people in, the more right words I say, the more right energy I send out, the more right actions that I do. Whereas if you've got somebody who's a generator, they need to do, and the more they do, the more they achieve, and the more active they get, and the more, so they snowball. Whereas if I go too hard, I burn out and I completely don't function, and I become a bitter bitch, and it's just not good. So yeah, I don't have the answer to the question of what is exercise and why we should do exercise in the way that we do. Should it be physical, should it be mental, should it be a combination of both? But I am a true believer that it depends on the horse, depends on the person, depends on the reasoning and what you hope to achieve, I suppose. So if I just, yeah, so that's me. I think I've been prepping on for quite a while down a rabbit one. I didn't make any notes for this today, which is why I've just gone for a spiel, and I hope I've made sense for you and not prattled on too much or forgotten what I've said a few times. But anyway, so thank you for joining me on my Thursday things. There'll be another one next week for some other brain stuff that I just figure out during the week. I'll let you know hopefully a bit sooner what it's going to be about so that you can see. If you're watching on replay, please put that in the comments below. Let me know that you've cared enough to watch it back. This will also be going up on YouTube in 2 weeks' time, so don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell icon so that you get a notification every time a new video comes up. I do post on there twice a week. And also, if you're not on the Facebook page, connect to that and join the Facebook group where we've got a nice little community going, and also on Instagram where there's virtually daily updates on the herd. We're naturally_Willa. And that is it for me this week, and I'll see you all next week. I hope you have a lovely week in between. See you soon. Bye.